Viewers, this is Michael from Screen Reviews, bringing you a new podcast from our segment called the Super Sentai Review. And like always, I'm going to speak very loudly, very clearly, and very slowly in case you don't understand it. Also, I'll try to do my best not to breach your heart during this audio podcast recording as well, not to cause any audio feedback as well. And finally, if you're under 18, this audio podcast recording will turn into adult language. Once again, if you're under 18, this audio podcast recording will turn into adult language. Now, if you're over 18, then you get to watch this audio podcast recording. So anyway, with this everything else out of the way, let's get into the latest episode with Soldier. Let's get into the latest episode of Zenkaiger. So anyway, let's get into. So the episode starts off like this. We see Kaido and the rest of the Zenkaigers, in this quarry, shooting at this monster that looks like the High New monster a few previous episodes ago. So basically, they're fighting this monster that resembles the High New monster from some couple of previous episodes ago. So basically, turns out this monster it does look like the High New monster, but it had a different look. Turns out this monster is called the Time Reverse Monster. So basically, the Time Reverse Monster. So basically, Sachin, Kaido's robot bird was trying to warn Kaido and others. This is not the height. So basically, Kaido and others figured this somehow that maybe Kurvashin or Sebastian Aiken must have done back the High Noon monster, but this is not the High Noon monster. It's a monster. So basically, this is the Time Reverse monster with the power of the Time Reverse chosen gear. So basically, Saki was trying to warn them about this monster, about the monster. This monster has the ability to go back in time and whatnot. So basically, when Chachi showed up on scene, he tried to warn Kaido and the others. But the monster using his time powers, reverse time. And once Kaido tried to warn, once Chachi tried to warn Kaido and others, he caught Chachi before he even say anything towards Kaido and the other Zenkaigers. So basically, and that's when the reverse monster would decide to go back in time with the help of Sashi's memories to stop the Zenkaigers, with his time going back in time powers. So basically, Sashi and the time reverse monster went back in time. So basically, meanwhile, back at the bad guys' headquarters, King Kurobashin was telling King Borka and Borka about the latest monster's time disease. So basically, he's gonna go back in time and stop the Zenkaigers. They gotta stop the Zenkaiger before they even come together and shit like that. So anyway, Professor Arjun was kind of skeptical after what happened to that vacation monster that almost over the whole stupid vacation monster issue in the previous episode. But King Boca seemed a little bit enthusiastic over this idea of this time monster going back in time and stopping the Zenkai to even come together as a team. So basically, the time reverse monster and Sashi went back in time before Kaido met Zuan and kind of started the Zenkaigers before he met Zuan. So basically, So basically, the time verse Martha went to go see the Kardashian at that time period. Once he did, he was trying to tell him, some bio information about how he could stop the Zenkaiger for forming, but the Kardashian at that time period didn't believe him, and he ended up attacking ended up getting attacked by the Kardashian at that time period. So basically, the High Moon Monster got a little damaged and basically got beat up by the Kardashian at that time period. So basically, using his time powers, he had it when all five of the Zenkaigers were all assembled together and went to go warn Colonel Aigen about the Zenkaigers. So basically, when he got to that time period, he tried to warn warn trying to warn, and get information about the Zenkaigers, and trying to get info of the Zenkaigers to that Professor Argy at that time period, and just like with the Colonel bashing of the other time period that he came from, the Professor Agent of that time period didn't believe the monster, and he ended up attacking it, and therefore did some damage to the time monster, and he didn't care. So basically, once again, this is the second time that the time reverse monster got attacked, and so it seems like you're not doing so well. So basically, the time monster once again tried to go to another time period where Stacy was when Stacy was went to the time period when Stacy abused his Stacy seizure power. So basically, he went into the forest where where Stacy was looking for Kaido. So basically, it was about to debut as Stacy Caesar. So basically, yeah. So basically, the time monster once again, this time be cautious, like catch his distance and whatnot. Away, in case being cautious. Being cautious, catch his distance away from the Stacy at this time period in case she started to attack him. So basically, the Stacy at that time period was what the hell you want. So basically, once again, the time reverse monster was trying to get her info about the Zenkaigers and whatnot too. That way he can use that information against the Zenkaigers and get rid of him. But just like the other two times, this Stacy Caesar didn't believe him and attacked him and basically walked away. So basically, the Stacy at this time period attacked the time monster, and basically the time monster was like, what, this is starting to get ridiculous. So basically, and that's when the time monster had a good idea. So basically, he went to the time period to stop Flint, Tukai's sister, from making the Zenkaiger gears for Tukaiser and Kaido. That way they can have the chosen dynasty will have the upper hand. So basically, the time version monster went to the time period before Flint helped Sachin make the kaiju gear. So basically, he flew. So basically, he was waiting outside, Kaido's grandma's, store, and Flint came, and he used his time power to freeze Flint in time, right in front of grandma's store, and he was about to destroy Flint right there. But the Sashin at that time period somehow did a superpower attack that once again got attacked too. So for a fourth time, the time reverse monster got attacked. Got its ass kicked in a fourth time period by a different by this time by the shocking of that time period. So basically, the time monster ended up back in the time, back in the present time period before he disappeared from the Zenkaiger. So basically, Saskin was telling that, I miss those days when Kaido's parents, were around and whatnot. They came up with the Zenkaiger technology, and that's when the time monster was like, oh, you gave me the perfect idea. I should have just went back in time and stopped Kaido's parents from making the Zenkaiger technology instead. So basically, the time monster was about to go back in time, but the Zenkaigers so basically, but he was in the present time period, and the Zenkaigers showed up and started to attack him. It turns out that the Zenkaigers was informed by Sashin throughout the different time periods, warning the Zenkaiger throughout the different time periods about the about the time monster's time for power. So basically, working together as a team, they were able to free Sashin, and using the power of the Zoo Ranger gear, they did the Zoo Ranger Tri Attack. The Zoo Rangers try attack. So basically, how the Zoo Rangers, know how to go get on top of the form like a pyramid, and they combine the little blaster lasers together, and did a triangle attack. So basically, they did the Zoo Ranger triangle attack on the time reverse monster. So basically, watching from the headquarters, Kurt Baskin was about to order a giant foot soldier to attack, to exert the power of the time reverse monsters chosen gear, but Kurt Baskin was like, no, I'm just tired of just don't do it this time, just don't do it, just forget it, let's not. It doesn't make no sense to say a giant foot soldier monster to exert the power of that gear. It's gonna get destroyed by the Zenkaiger anyway. So basically, Kurt Baskin. So basically, by the orders of King Walker, Kurt Baskin did not send a giant foot soldier this time to exert the powers of the Trojan gear, and therefore the Trojan gear of the time monster was destroyed, and the Zenkaiger just and the day was run by the Zenkaiger. So basically, it's pretty obvious that King Booker is frustrated of being beaten by the Zenkaigers. It's tired of all these losses against the Zenkaigers and by the Zenkaigers and two Kaigers. So basically, even using his robot bird that couldn't calm him down this time. He was just frustrated with the fears of Kurt Baskin and Professor Isaac and all these monsters that they sent after the Zenkaigers, and including two Kaigers to conquer this world, to conquer Kaido's world and whatnot. So anyway, So basically, later that night, so the others went to had a party to celebrate Sashin, celebrate Sashin, her warning about the time about this powers and whatnot, and blah blah blah. Everybody was there, including Tukaiser, his sister, and his two brothers. So basically, everybody was glad that Sashin gave them the heads up about the time monster, and about and Sashin was telling him about his when he went back in time with the monster. This helped me to remind that that you Kaido and the others are all good allies and friends that came from that started that became good friends and good friends and allies, including you two Kaiser and your sister and the brothers. So basically, everybody was happy with Sashin's speech, and Sashin was staring at a picture of Kaido's parents, and Sashin was hoping one day hoping that hoping to find Kaido's parents. One day, figure out what happened figure out and what happened, to figure out and what happened and find Kaido's parents once and for all one day. So basically, the episode ended with Sashi staring at a picture of Kaido's parents, and them celebrating, having a celebration party for Sashin over defeating the time reverse monster, and this is how the episode ended. So anyway. This episode was more like a clip show flashback, but it was a good way. So anyway, this was a good episode. So anyway, like always, what do you guys think about this episode? Was it good? Was it bad? Or was it just okay? Please let me know in the comments below this podcast. So anyway, like always, this is your Michael from Screw Reviews. Sign off. 1.